From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, it is officially 8:20 and 47, 48, 49, 50 seconds, and we are waiting for the Switch 2 pre-order to happen. Plus, there was Mario Kart Direct that happened in between shows.
I've wandered on the mountain in the desert. I saw the petroglyphs. The Switch 2 is the new PS5.
I'm going psycho on these pre-orders.
I hope it's the new PS5 as in nobody buys it when it comes out, and then it'll be available like 2020. I guess it was there was some major shortage on that too, right? When that one came around.
People weren't getting their hands on them for years.
Yeah,
they didn't really become readily available until over 2 years after they came out.
Yeah, well, because it was all the shipment stuff too, right? With the ship getting caught in the canal
and the pandemic and all kinds of other fun stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 468. Your place here, Nintendo fans. Get frantic about the Switch pre-orders that are going to happen in, like 2 hours and 40 minutes from now or something like that? I don't know. I can't tell time. Is that is that how it works? It's yeah. As we heard in between episodes, what was it on Thursday? Last Thursday, it said that they were going up for pre-order on April 24th at midnight for most places. GameStop 11 a.m. Weirdly enough, whenever they open tomorrow, which is kind of
the
strange.
dedicated video game store is the only one not taking pre-orders at midnight. I have no idea why.
Maybe they want to get people in the stores, actually. I don't know. They want people to actually come in. I thought that was real weird, but yeah, I don't know. I'm actually at a remote location right now. I thought about actually stopping by GameStop tomorrow and just seeing if they had any, depending on whether I get one or not. Even if I don't, I might still just go and just see what the what the scope is like. Actually, one of the people I'm working with on this thing is actually doing a van lifing, whatever, sleeping in his car for this job. And I told him, I was like, you could sleep in the GameStop parking lot tonight, and I don't think anybody's going to see anything weird about it, because there'll probably be other people there.
I'm not sure. Asked if you could stay over.
I'm not sure if he knew what I was talking about, but I was like, yeah, Switch 2, it's happening tonight. It's like Switch 2 and NFL Draft on the same day. Like what? It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, for anybody cares, but that's kind of my world I'm into right now. But anyway, yeah, who are we? We've talked enough without introducing ourselves. We're your hosts. I'm Trey, Vita Killer Johnson.
I'm Jereme, Anxious Arcade Prince Mikowski.
I'm John, totally distracted knitter.
Super distracted. Let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games that we got and games that we've been playing. Jereme was out last week, so why don't you start off our what we've been playing part since you were absent last week?
Sure, I can do that. Well, not right after, but right before we left for Arizona, which is where I was this past week, I beat Arcade Paradise. I mean, I saw credits. You saw there's a little music video at the end. It's really, really bad, but kind of funny. I think that was
cheesy bad.
I say, is it bad like good?
It's hard to explain. So, I don't know if it's a real band or if it's a band that they made up for this sort of alternate history or whatever. It's supposed to take place in the early 2000s or late 90s or whatever, and all the games kind of look like that. And then the band is they sound like POD, but it's like a white guy.
Oh God.
And just like a garage band looking group of people, but they're playing he's rapping over the dude from, I don't know, it's hard to explain other than POD.
I remember POD. I listened to them.
And I'm talking later POD, not the cool,
not like
South Towns where they started to fall off,
I think I only had one. They were a Christian rapcore band from the 90s. Was it Payable on Death is what POD stands for, right?
Yeah.
I think I only had the first album, maybe the second one. I don't know. What was the one? There was one that was on a Tony Hawk game, or was it? No, maybe it was Aggressive Inline. It was on one of those extreme sports games from GameCube. Maybe it was Aggressive Inline that it was on, but I remember POD being on one of those soundtracks.
I don't know. A real POD fan might hear this and be like, hear what the song that I'm talking about, be like, you don't understand POD. But, I'm just saying that's what it reminded me of. But anyway, I beat it. And by beating it, basically, I thought maybe there was like some kind of strategy or something. But, spoilers, to beat it, you just do everything you can do because you keep unlocking stuff. So
just buy all the arcades.
Just keep on unlocking everything. Yeah, buy all the arcades, do all the renovations and stuff, and go through all the cutscenes, and eventually you'll see credits. That's what I did. But I also got really into doing the daily challenges since last time, and started to actually enjoy all the games a lot. So I decided that this game feels kind of like Nintendo World Championship a little bit. Because it's all these games. It's all these games where I wouldn't really play for very long normally, but because all these different goals are being set, in order to like upgrade your character, you have to play the arcades and meet the daily challenges. There's 3 every day within the arcade game. That within the video game world, that's a day. You can end the day whenever you want. But there's sort of an overarching story. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. And at the end, I had really cool arcade, and I had all my arcade machines arranged like I liked it. And then I was like, how do I get those other ones? And I found out I had to pay for them. So I think I spent like $5 to buy the last couple of arcade machines.
Yeah, there's some DLC stuff. I remember seeing that.
So I did that. And what's cool about that is that stuff gets thrown into your daily challenges randomly as well. So I'm playing those games. They're not just sitting there for no reason. But yeah, I loved it. I love the game. There's really nothing else I can do on it but you can get like a gold watch. If I buy the gold watch, then I've officially done everything I can in the game. But I've done literally everything else. Like I hired someone to help me get all the money out of the machines every night so I don't have to. And I got a car, and I got rid of all the laundry machines, and it's just an arcade now.
Nice.
So
that must be like the overarching goal of the game is to transform your laundromat into an arcade. And when you do that,
I mean, once again, not really spoilers. I mean, it's pretty much like how you expected it to be. But your dad just owns all these businesses, and he doesn't really think you're any good at anything, and he constantly tells you that through through answering machine messages. And so he just is like, you're no good. I think you dropped out of college or something as well. That's what the character's supposed to have happening. And so he puts you in charge of the laundromat, and then like the goal is to eventually have it be your building to make enough money that you can buy it. And that's where the chain of events in the game kind of happen. But you're really not in control of any of that. It's just kind of the cinema that plays as you unlock stuff. But yeah, I beat it. It was cool. I think I got a lot of enjoyment out of something that I initially thought I wasn't going to like. It just really hooked me.
You really like those like job games though, right? Where you get to do stuff, or it seems like I do, like Stardew Valley, or like what was it, the Slime Rancher? It kind of felt like that sort of game. Like I played it a little bit. I played it for
especially
a couple hours. Like
the thing is, like if you're working towards automation eventually, I love that. I love that. And I mean, really, it's just like Shauna said. It's like you're just building a small business. Like I'm like, yeah, I guess that's pretty much what this is.
Yeah, it's a work game with arcades.
Yeah,
I tried it a little bit. It didn't really grab me from what I played of it, but yeah, I just honestly I played it for like an hour, and I was like, I couldn't find anything to do next. To me, maybe I just didn't. Maybe it was like so early that you.
It probably was, and it's early. Like I will say, like early on, it really makes you do laundry a lot.
Oh yeah, I'd only done laundry like once, and I played some of the couple games that were there, and I was like, these games aren't that fun. But I got it for like $6 because it was on sale, but maybe I could try it again. But yeah, no,
I recommend it.
I'm glad that you liked it for free on free-ish on PlayStation Plus and all that stuff.
Yeah, the sign of a good game is that I booted it up and I started playing it and
never stopped.
I just didn't even restart the game for a couple of days probably because I just put it in sleep mode and go back to it. So yeah, I don't know. I tend to obsess over things sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but like I said, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say on what we were saying earlier, I was right. POD was on Aggressive Inline soundtrack. It was Youth of a Nation that was on that game, which was the one I thought. I just couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah.
Off the album Satellite, which came out on... What day did it come out?
Well, it came out in 2001. Was it 9/11?
Yeah, it came out on September 11th, 2001.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I did not know the release date of it. I must have maybe I only...
I think I might be a bigger POD fan than you.
Yeah,
Oh.
honestly I didn't. Well, I mean, they're like they got reggae stuff.
I don't want to throw up my fists. Ain't got to be like this.
I mean, they got like reggae stuff and like the rap, the new metal. Like I don't like that stuff, so it was kind of a, I think I kind of just
A shitstorm of
got
stuff you
it,
didn't
got it
like.
because friends liked it. But I mean, there were some songs that I guess I was okay with, but I couldn't
They
really.
screamed once in a while. That was cool.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell you. Aside from I thought Youth of a Nation was all right, and I remember recognizing them on Aggressive Inline. But I mean, it was like, I think I probably had Brown was the first one. I mean, I just looked at some of the releases, but yeah, doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, that band that's on. I did download the soundtrack to. I downloaded the soundtrack to not Aggressive Inline to Arcade Paradise, just because I was tired of playing stuff from Xenoblade Chronicles X for all of our episodes. So
Makes sense.
I downloaded it for whenever you were on last and talked about it, just so I could have some other music on here. Because, like I said, I was like, there's enough. I think there's enough Xeno X stuff for now. And since we had Alex on last week, I got to do all the Lunar stuff too, which I still really, really want to play that game. I'm just waiting to see whatever.
I listened to
happens
some
with the
episode.
Switch.
I was a little jealous because I was like, I've totally played all the way through that game before, so I would have actually had something to add.
Yeah, no, I mentioned it. I remember you giving me a hard time about it in college because it was on PlayStation, and I was probably so like aggressively Nintendo fan. You're like, you'll never play this because you don't play PS1. Like I remember you saying that and showing it to me. But I mean,
you never played it.
I like the. I mean, I really like the idea of what Alex was saying of it being like a. I like that it's a Sega CD game and it has so many like FMVs in it. Like that really intrigues me because I love that.
Yeah,
shit.
me too.
So I'll get it at some point. I mean, it's definitely on my list, and if it goes on sale, I'll pick it up. But yeah, no, I've been thinking about it since last week's episode a lot. But
that was one of the games that made me like think, oh man, I kind of want to Sega CD. Even though I didn't really like crystallize that I didn't like RPGs then. Like I had a general feeling that I didn't, but that game enticed me just because of the quote unquote cartoon, as we called them back then, cutscenes. Yeah, it really intrigued me. So I still feel like a little bit like I would try this game for the right price. I would get this game if it was like $15. I get Lunar, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, it's two games.
I'll get it.
It's two games for $50, which is $25 each, which I think is already a pretty good deal. I don't know if it'll go as low as 15. I wouldn't, I think the game apparently it's doing really well. Like all of their physicals sold out like on the day, and the company already talked about sending out more copies and all that. So apparently it did really well. So it's good. It's good to hear that people are really all about it. So
yeah. So other than playing Arcade Paradise, right after that, kind of like basically, I was probably in midair while y'all were recording last week. But yeah, I went to Phoenix, Arizona because Shauna won a van rental from a company called Boho Van Rentals that renovates vans for people or builds out vans for people, and they also have some of their own that they've worked on and that they maintain and rent out. Anyway, Shauna won a free 3-night rental of the van. So
awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was definitely like something we could never afford to own, probably, at least not the way this was, where it was like just so intensely customized, I would say. Less like rinky dink, like what we would be more likely to have. Like,
were they on Shark Tank?
I don't know.
I saw something like that on Shark Tank. Could have been
maybe they were.
But yeah, it seemed like exactly what we were talking about.
But yeah, they built out all these vans, and yeah, we got to take this one out and spent 3 days in it. I never drove it. Shauna drove it the whole time, which I was fine with. I didn't really feel like driving that giant thing.
And it had to be in Arizona. Did they fly you out to Arizona to do that?
No, we had it. We flew ourselves.
Oh, you have to get in Arizona. I was going to say, did you have to go there? I guess you would. I guess you would because you flew there. Like you didn't get it and then drive there.
Well, it also, I don't know. I don't think either of us would have. I mean, it would have been fun, I guess, but it would not have been as cool to go around this area. Not to say we don't live in a pretty area of the country, but it's colder now, and also like I've seen a lot of that stuff already. But we went south of where we were before when we went out west last year, and got to hit some other spots that we wouldn't have been able to hit before. So that was fun, and spent 3 nights in the van, and stayed on BLM land 2 of those days, and then stayed at a national forest the 3rd night. I guess they're all kind of the same thing, but they just have different designations. Because this one, third night we stayed at it's called Tonto. Was it Tonto Tonto Forest Reserve? What was it called? I was close. Tonto National Forest. Yeah. That's kind of built around these cliff dwellings that were built in, I guess they've estimated they were built sometime in the 1300s. And they used to be inhabited until like the 1600s. But no one's lived there since. And yeah. So we got to go up and see these cool cliff dwellings. That was fun. And then basically drove about a mile down the road and was able to camp off the road and there's a bunch of cows and it was fun. A bunch of cacti.
Was it, I mean, Arizona's pretty hot, right? But it probably gets cool enough at night. There,
we just happened to be there like in their little Goldilocks zone of weather. We just got lucky, I think. Everybody was saying like that we were lucky in it. In fact, the day we left, it got up to like 100, but it was like the high of, a high in the 80s most of the time we were there. And then it would get into like the 60s, 70s at night. It even rained. One night it just rained a bunch in the desert. It was surreal.
Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot of desert places can get like really hot in the day and really cold at night. Like when I was in Kansas City, I don't know if that's like it was doing the same thing where it was like really hot and then it was like 20 at night when the sun went down.
Yeah, the van was set up with like an onboard like heating system that I think is propane powered, or maybe not. No, it is gas powered, but we never had to use that. It was just like the perfect temperature. It was nice.
How was the van overall? I mean, this is like a customized van and everything.
Yeah, so I could tell you a little bit about it. Up front, it just kind of looks like a normal van, except there's like a bunch more like features on. Not really, I guess. It's just like like a more modern car with like a screen. I'm just not used to that, but that was cool. And then the passenger seat can swivel all the way around to like 180 degrees. I didn't ever do that, but it kind of turns it into like an extra chair to face like the back area where the whole van is set up. There's like a sink and it's got a like a big old water tank on the side of it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like a house. It's got a sink where you can run water and it goes into like a jug. You have to dump the jug out. There's a water heater. We tried that. It didn't work that well, but supposedly if you use it right, it heats all your water up. It had like pretty intense solar system on top of it.
Nice.
And these like 4 gigantic batteries that we were running everything off of. So we never had to worry about any charging devices or anything. Like you just plug them in and it would work. And then you could like monitor the power of the van, like the external batteries the whole time. And I think it got down to like 88% maybe once. Oh, 80. Okay. It got down to 80, but okay. And that was the water heater that killed that. Oh, it also had a microwave in it and a refrigerator that kept all of our food. So we were able to like just make meals out in the desert and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with like the ice system that you did before when you were gone for like 2 weeks.
Correct. Yeah, there wasn't none of that. It was an actual just refrigerator that was pretty decent size.
Cool thing about having solar power too, you can if you're not getting enough sun, you could just move it to where there is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's probably plenty of sun in Arizona, but
there was that second night it rained a lot, so that's when our stuff kind of got low. But when we returned the van, it was at 100% power just from the solar and driving it around. So, sadly, it's not an electric vehicle; it still required gasoline.
Yeah, when at our house, I inquired about solar and all that, because I was like, oh, we can get solar on our roof because I've seen people around us in our neighborhood have solar. They told me that we had to cut all our trees down. We're like, no, fuck that, we're not doing that because of they said that you have to get rid of your trees to make sure the sun gets to your solar at all times, and we like our trees a lot, so we're not doing that.
Yeah. That's a terrible trade.
So we said, fuck no. But yeah, that was our experience with that.
But yeah, we had a good time. We, other than camping, we went to the aquarium and stayed at a nice hotel last night with like a hot tub and a pool and stuff. And
just last night? Did you just get back today?
No.
You guys were staying.
I got back Tuesday morning. Okay. So yesterday.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what the fuck day is it? Because I just
left. We got back home at about 4:15 a.m. and then I had to work at 8. So I just slept for like an hour and a half and then went to work. Yeah.
Got close.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I had a good time.
I was going to say, I used to go to Arizona every year, like for around like Easter time to see my grandfather, my mom's dad, and it was actually pretty nice around that time. So I just remembered that. So maybe
Yeah, we were there on Easter.
Wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, I would say that's where you were there. So
and we were in Arizona last Easter as well. So
yeah, I remember it being pretty nice. Yeah, I remember it being pretty nice
I've been
before.
at Easter 2 years in a row.
Oh yeah, I think I probably mentioned that last time too. That I was like, I used to go to Arizona for Easter all the time. That's where I got my.
Yeah, this year Easter was on 420, so that was pretty rad.
Yeah, dude, that's when they started. They started showing Dogma again too, on 420.
Nice
for the anniversary or whatever. They're playing it in Chicago next week, but they're actually on Saturday. But it's sold out, of course. I looked into it, but I didn't hear about it until way later. But yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. I don't know. I've not covered everything we did, but there's some highlights.
How are the Phoenix Suns
really video
doing?
Game related.
How are the Phoenix Suns doing? I know you didn't. That was like the one season of basketball that I cared about was the Phoenix Suns.
I saw a
Bulls
couple
thing.
spots. Yeah, I saw a couple of like spots where different teams do spring training. Like I think the Dodgers maybe were there or something, or the Angels, or I can't remember. And then also I think the Cubs.
Oh, isn't like say the Cubs are there, right? Yeah, because my stepdad goes. My stepdad will go down there to see them play.
Yeah,
or see whatever whatever.
Oh yeah, I guess we went to kind of an arcade bar
thing.
That was kind of fun. It was mostly more like games that you play one-on-one, but it was fun. We had a good time. Played like the gigantic Pac-Man and the one that's like the screen's like 8 feet tall or whatever. I don't know if you've seen that one at arcades.
I've seen it. Yep.
And then we played like skee ball, and there was like a beer pong game that was kind of interesting. I played that pong game where it's the actual like moving pieces on the table. That's a pretty cool.
Oh, like a physical.
Yeah,
like electromechanical pong.
Oh yeah, they have that at.
I think they like use magnets or something.
They have that at Super Potato in Japan. We played it.
Yeah, it was pretty
like
fun.
On the 3rd floor or something, Akihabara.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting here because it's been a couple weeks. But
you played
Blue Prince.
Blue Prince, yeah. Have you
heard that one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you heard anything about it? There's multiple podcasts that I listen to that are talking it up a lot. Like so,
sounds right up my alley, but I've never done a deep dive onto it yet. I understand it's like a puzzle game.
Yeah, it's a roguelike.
I heard it was on PS Plus, and I just dropped it on the Slack. I was like, Jeremy, you got to try out Blue Prince because it's free on PS Plus and whatever the Xbox One. I forget what
Game
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass and PS Plus, and everybody's been talking about.
Oh yeah,
it.
there's no reason not to play it like for that. And I mean, at first I was like, I don't get it. I played a little bit of it before I left for Arizona, and then I guess just since last night, I played it for like an hour or two before I went to bed, and it started to click for me. And then I played it for a little bit before the show today, and I like it. I mean, it's really starting to like come together for me, and like I haven't had to look for help anywhere. I'm solving these puzzles by myself.
I heard a lot of people comparing it to Animal Well, which is another reason I thought about you, because people are saying that sort of thing where, well, most people said like, you got to play, you got to like fail a few times before it starts to click to you. But even if you make it all the way through, there's more stuff that, there's more depth that go after that. That's kind of like Animal Well type stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I could see that. There's a lot to it, but it kind of reminds me of what was I thinking of? Oh, it reminds me a little bit of the what's that game? Oberdin a little bit, because it's a big mystery you're solving, But in this
Return of Oberdin.
Yeah, the Return of Oberdin. Like you're solving a mystery, but there's no one else around. You're just like kind of figuring out what you're inferring what happened based on.
A little like Myst too. Myst is kind of like that. No one else around, but you're inferring what happened.
I think I've heard. I listened to that 8-4 play episode. And I think they compared it to Myst a little bit.
Yeah, I think are they the ones that said that it was better than I don't know, whatever that game that the Braid guy made, or maybe that was a different podcast that I listened to.
It probably was
where they're comparing to that one.
This is one I downloaded and listened to on the plane. I think I fell asleep partway through it, but it was a pretty good one. It kind of made me want to play it more when I got back, and I did. And like I said, it still wasn't clicking right away. And this sounds dumb, but like one of the reasons it wasn't clicking for me is because I wasn't looking at my map while I was doing it. I was just like picking the rooms and kind of assuming that I was doing things in the right direction, but you could literally like put the wrong piece in and then just go to a dead end or block off another entrance that you could use to try to get other rooms. And they're just like, as you go play through it more and more, it makes more sense. And the more rooms you unlock, the more like chance for randomosity you have, like, or you know what I mean. There's more stuff can happen with the randomosity because there's more options. So
yeah, I'll say, give everybody an idea of like what the premise of the game is, like just because we've kind of just been talking about it, we haven't really said like what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Blueprints, definitely a pun, is about. You play as this, like, I think you're supposed to be like a 12 or 14-year-old boy. You're supposed to be pretty young. And your uncle has passed away. Or is your uncle or your great uncle? I can't remember. I think it's your great uncle. It's passed away. And you're the one that he left his estate to. And apparently he was rich, had a huge mansion and all this stuff. And was some kind of scientist. I don't know if you find that out in the opening or whatever. Anyway, he basically says, like, the only, this is for you to have, but you have to come here and you have to find the 46th room of my mansion. And on paper, the mansion has 45 rooms, but there's a 46th room. And that's sort of the whole goal, is to figure out how to get to the 46th room. And you do that by mapping out you get 3 choices each door you go to choose a room. And all the rooms have different effects and buffs and objects you can pick up. Each room's the same room every time, if it's that number of room. The only difference is there are some like random items that might pop up that are just like helpful, like buffs, pretty much, like in any other roguelike. But I don't know. It's one of those games where it just gets more complicated the deeper you get into it, and eventually you're like making decisions that'll affect the next day. Oh, and I didn't even mention it. Every day the house resets, and you're making a new map. And you lose all your items from the day before, and you have to start all over again, pretty much.
And isn't there also a big like focus on footsteps? Like you can only walk like so far.
Yeah.
And when you run out of footsteps, like the day ends.
I think it's like you have like 56 steps or something, but the way it actually works is each room you go to counts as a step. Then there's some rooms you go to that'll give you extra steps, like they'll add steps back because you're counting backwards. From like I said, 62 or something. I can't remember what the number is exactly, but if you go to like a bedroom, if you like build a bedroom and walk into it, then you'll get like 2 steps back, or maybe you'll get a buff in another room that'll make it to whenever you build a bedroom, you'll get extra steps. So like I'm saying, like it's a roguelike in the sense that you're trying to get all the systems to work together to get like the maximum reward you can, because you get coins that you use to buy things. Mostly to get more steps, but it looks like there's some pretty big items you can get eventually that like permanently buff you. And there are a few permanent buffs. I haven't ran into a lot, but if you find these little like floppy diskettes around the mansion, you can plug them into computer terminals and like do little small upgrades on your rooms to where those rooms will give you better rewards next time you run into them. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of upgrading things and doing what you can to permanently affect the future. That way, when you go to the next, your next run, you can get further along. The other thing is that you'll run into a lot of doors that are locked, and if you don't have a key, you can't go through them. So you have to really hope that you find keys, or you just get stuck. And if you get stuck, you just have to say in the day, and then it starts over fresh again the next day.
What I've heard people say is it's kind of like there's puzzles upon puzzles, and that's what it sounds like from your description. Like
it is. And some of the puzzles I figured out, like I don't even want to I'm not even going to say anything about them other than they were really cool environmental puzzles that when they clicked, it was really satisfying. Like I spent probably a good 20 minutes on this one puzzle, and I literally had to pull out a piece of paper.
Yeah, I heard that too. But
once I pulled out the paper and I was doing this puzzle based on the clues in the room, and I made it work. I was like, oh shit. The funny part though is that I solved the puzzle in the sense that I got the clue, but I don't know what to do with the clue. So I have a clue that I don't know anything to do with, but it still was fun to find that clue.
It's a little bit like Professor Layton or something, like those kind of brain teaser puzzles. Or is it more like logic puzzles? Or
I'd say more like logic, but I mean, Layton's pretty logic. A lot of those puzzles are pretty logic based, so I think Layton's a good comparison. But just imagine that as though that stuff was laid out around a room. But you were walking around figuring it out. And it does you like a little bit of like, it's easy to like kind of spin out trying to infer meaning from things, but I think it does a pretty good job of letting you know what you sort of need to pay attention to kind of solve the puzzles. So it's not quite that open-ended, but I still think it's pretty good at letting you figure it out for yourself. As a puzzle game, it's pretty fun.
From my perspective, this game seemed to just come out of nowhere, and a lot of people are talking about.
I think you
buzz.
probably would like it, John. I don't know how you feel about roguelikes, but I mean that's another roguelikes are another one of my things that I'm super into. So another reason this works for me so well, probably.
I think it's a single developer too, right? It's like one guy doing it. Also,
that
like,
I don't know.
Kind of indie out of nowhere is what I heard. And the game that I heard it compared to was The Witness. That's what I was trying to think.
The
of
Witness, yeah, I
earlier,
remember the name of it.
Where I think 8-4 did actually compare it to that, or saying that they liked it better than that.
I don't know if I know what The Witness is. The name sounds familiar.
The Witness is the game that the guy from Braid made, the sequel.
Okay,
and it was also very much Myst like. It was Myst inspired and all that.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's it's a low stakes game. I will say that.
Yeah,
like,
you don't really die.
It's not a stressful game. You don't really,
right? Yeah.
Right. You don't ever really feel like you're in danger. It can kind of give you a sense of that time's running out sometimes, but I don't think that's really the case. I mean, maybe there is a beat it by a certain amount of days and you unlock things or something like that for future play. I wouldn't be surprised, but as far as I know, bumbling around through it is okay. You don't have to get stressed out. Just try to figure it out. If you can't go anywhere, just end the day. You don't even have to like waste your steps. Just end the day if you feel like. And eventually you'll get to like rooms that'll tell you if you've missed picking up items, if you need to go back and grab them or whatever. And it's kind of fun because you've got like essentially like a, without the enemies, it's like kind of the layout of an old Zelda dungeon, like from Zelda 1, and you're running through it and you remember how you built it. And then you wipe it away and you start all over again. And you start to get familiar with the rooms and where to go in them and what they do. And it's just kind of as that stuff sort of coalesces in your brain, then you start to get it. You start to like it. That's where I'm at right now. So I plan on trying to finish this one, at least to see credits. I don't know if I'll go quite crazy on it like I did on Animal Well, which I never did open a lot of that extra stuff. But this one's just compelling for what it is. A nice, relaxing puzzle game that you can just walk around, and it can be a little frustrating when you get to these dead ends and you have to restart, but you learn something each run through, I think. So far, I've learned something new each run through, and I've at least unlocked one new type of room each run through and found extra things that I didn't notice before, and in that sense, it's very satisfying. I think I've played like 2 hours of it. That's what it told me earlier.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was developed by one guy, Tonda Ross, however you pronounce that.
Okay.
Heavily inspired by the book Maze, Solve the World's Most Challenging Puzzle, which I guess you could win $10,000 at the time if you got through it. This is like a 1985 book about mazes.
Well, I will say, yeah, you're going to run into like puzzles that are kind of easy to solve in the sense that, maybe like you find a code or something and then you take it and apply it somewhere else. But some of the stuff is, I don't know, some of it's very environmental, and that's the stuff I've liked the best so far because it's almost like, I don't know, it just seems like better game design if they don't just have to outright tell you you're supposed to make these things work. Like if you find the key to a code or, a safe combination, it's like, okay, cool. But, how much cooler would it have been if there was an extra layer of puzzle? And I think they do that in this game a lot.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I've heard is, try to see all the rooms, and don't backtrack because you'll lose, lose footsteps or whatever. But I'm really interested on it. From what you've seen of it, I mean, do you think it could probably run on Switch too easily? Right? We might see it as a release.
Oh, is it not on Switch?
No.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't seem like anything that graphically intense. I thought it was on Switch.
No, just
I assumed it was. It just kind of has a very, I wouldn't say generic, but it's got a sort of like, asset pack feel to it a little bit.
I haven't heard. Yeah, it's just on Xbox and PS5 and Windows as of right now. But it was. I figured we might see a release for Switch 2, especially if it's getting a lot of, since it seems to be getting a lot of buzz. like I said, every podcast I listen to,
I could definitely
has
run
been
on
talking
Switch
about
too.
it. So
I would actually be surprised if it couldn't run on the first Switch.
yeah, I'm surprised it's not on PS. It's not on PS4. It's PS5 only. Because I was like, well, fuck, I'll check it out. But
I don't think anything's happening in this that wouldn't be happening in like a Firewatch or something like that as far as graphics go. But maybe the generation of going room to room is graphically intensive. I doubt it though, because each room's the same every time. So it's not like it has to like keep track of the whole thing. It just has to keep track of what it needs to be where. I don't know. I don't know how to program a game. What am I saying?
yeah, hopefully it ends up on one of them.
Anyway, blueprints, get it?
Yep. I actually didn't
Apparently
know.
that's important though, because
I didn't know how to spell it.
There's certain things you're unlocking as you go, and there's a red prince. I'll leave it at that. But there's also a red prince, and that's not a pun as far as I can tell.
Cool. Well, we move on from your stuff then?
Yeah, let's move on from my stuff then.
All right. Well, you beat a game. I beat a game too. We both beat a game this week. And guess what game I beat? I beat this little game called Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh my goodness!
Defeated it.
I got so off-boarded from that game.
At like 90, I think it was at like 93 hours and some minutes.
I need to go back to it. I really do.
Is where I got to. Well, I was I was doing I was just doing constant like affinity mission after affinity mission plus whatever, like regular missions and the basic missions and all that stuff. And I kind of just like I was like, I really want to do some of the story stuff. So I just like went just story heavy into it, and then I beat the original ending. I haven't seen any of the new stuff yet. I got to the credits for the Wii U version because, as you know, the game ends, and it ends in a pretty weird way, as you heard of. I don't want to spoil anything because I want you to beat it too and see it all. But there's some pretty weird shit at the end there. It reminded me of another video game series that has nothing to do with Monolith at all. It kind of just turned into this whole other game at the end, and I was like, "Oh, okay, weird. Well, didn't expect that." It's got a weird ending. It doesn't really end either at the end, kind of. So there's 12 chapters total, and after the 12th chapter, that's the ending from the original game, and then there's a 13th chapter after that, which is the new stuff for the Switch version, the definitive edition chapter. So I'm not there yet. I basically want to. I've been like trying to do all the I want to try to. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to try to 100% it. Because there is a specific character that you lose like through the story, and if you don't do all of his affinity missions before you lose him, you might not be able to get 100%. But I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm not sure if he comes back or not in the definitive edition. I know you know who it is because he kind of defects from the team pretty early, in the story and all that, and he becomes unselectable, and you can't do any of his affinity missions. But I mean, you might see him at the end of the game, so I don't know. Maybe he'll come back later. But I made it. I made it through.
That's cool.
Through Xenoblade.
Bucket list. That's bucket list material.
Yeah. It was funny because what was it on the Wii U version? I mean, the more I play this game, the more I understood how little I knew about it or how little I understood it on Wii U. Especially it was
same.
It was my very first Xenoblade game that I've ever played, and it's kind of cool that was my very first Xenoblade game, and now I've played all of the other ones. Even like some other ones aside from that, not even
Torna.
Other Xeno stuff.
Oh no, that's easy.
And so it's like now I come back to it, having all these experiences from reading Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, and the DLC stuff. And now I kind of understand the way the game works better, so I could figure out a little bit easier. Even though it does feel different. Like I said, I beat this in like 93 hours, and you could say, maybe the map is bigger than the other Xenoblades, but it took me like 200 hours to get through Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It may be because I don't have a scale, and it was took longer to get across the maps, but that game felt like twice as big as Xeno X, and I always thought Xeno X was the big one, but I don't know. Looking back at the other Xenoblades, I think maybe not. But I just I got the fire under me to get through it. So on the Wii U version, I was stuck on chapter 10 for a while. That was the one when you have your first big scale battle and against whatever big thing. And I kept dying on that one because I had level 30 scales. I had never gotten any of the 51s. I bought a bunch of level 51s. I just bought the most expensive one that I could get, and I bought the most expensive weapons that I could get and just threw them on it. And that was my main scale that I used. And you kind of plow through a lot of guys once you get that going, even though some of them will take you down depending on what. Like I still can't beat those giant dinosaurs. Like even though I'm like level 55 and they're like 50 or whatever, they still fucking one hit shot me. You know, like they still like knock me out in one hit. So it's like what the fuck. So maybe I need to get higher for that. But yeah, I got this level 50 Skell, and I went to do this boss on chapter 10, and I wasn't paying attention to my fuel, and I actually ran out of fuel in the middle of the fight. So once you run out of fuel, you can't do anything on your Skell anymore. You can't do any moves because you don't have any fuel. So I basically jumped out of the Skell and I beat the guy on my foot, like on feet, like on foot without a Skell, which I thought was pretty cool because it's this big, just fucking giant, like, you know, monster, you know, looking Star Destroyer type thing that you're fighting in the sky, and I'm just like hitting it with my with my blade or whatever, and I destroyed it like that, and that was pretty cool to be able to defeat it on foot, even though it's like this, you know, this big ship that's way in the sky or whatever. So that was funny. And then I went through chapter 11. Then I was like, well, fuck, I should just do chapter 12, you know, because I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna get through it, you know, and I did. And chapter 12, you know, you're fighting this big boss, and it's kind of was the opposite effect. Like I'm using my Skell, and then the boss like depletes all of your fuel, so you can't use your Skell anymore because they want you to jump out and then fight it on foot and all that. But you know, if you pay attention, if you do all your stuff through the online mode, you can actually get items where you can refuel your Skells. Like if you're out of fuel, I didn't happen to have the item before, but I did now. And the game wanted me to be on my foot, but I was like, you know what? I have a refuel item. I'm just going to go back in the Skell and refuel all of them, and I did. And then I kind of just blew through it after that. And just beat the crap out of it. But yeah, it's got a weird ending. You should definitely play the rest of it. After you beat the game, you get additional Skells where you get schematics for level 60 Skells. Schematics is basically shows you like all the things you need to have to make the Skells. You also get additional schematics for like extra weapons and stuff like that. There was like a really powerful weapon I was trying to get, but it's really hard to get because you can fight these like level 60 you know, like bad guys in the level, but the drop rate is like 1% or something like that. So it's really hard to get what the parts that you need to make the different Skell stuff. Because I was trying to like max out my Skells, and I found the schematic for the Hirschfeld, whatever, the Lord mode, the Lord one, which is like level 60, and I got the level 50 version of it also. Oh yeah, and since last week you were gone last week, I figured out how to transform into a plane also, and that's like super fast. Like that's about at least twice the speed.
Oh, nice.
Of the regular Skell. You can go hella fast in that thing, even though it seems to run out of fuel quicker than all the other ones are. Like maybe because of the plane mode, but all you have to do is this. All you need to do is do the second affinity mission that has to do with that Skell model, and then you'll get the plane mode. Well, you also have to have the flight mode or whatnot. But yeah, it's Xenoblade Chronicles X still an awesome game. Yeah, I'm kind of like, you know, going from square by square through the map. I think the highest one, I think I'm at like 65 or 70 for like the very first continent that you start in, you know, as far as percentage goes. But yeah, I've been trying to go through and do all the different missions, and you know, like the higher percentage you get like items and stuff too, and you can use, you know, some of them give you like the currency that you need to buy like the items that you need to use for the schematics for the giant Skells and all that stuff. So it all kind of, you know, it all kind of comes together. But yeah, I beat the game. I got the credits for the original one, you know, and then I'll definitely see what the next chapter is. But yeah, it's I mean, it's Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, I'm not going to say that I don't like it, and I still like it as much as I did. Like, maybe not a little bit more. I don't know. And since I beat it when I beat it, I said last week, I'm kind of doing this Xenogears Xenosaga series for Mike on games my mom found, and we're doing Xenosaga in a couple weeks. So I've been working on that on PlayStation 2. I actually had my PlayStation 2 with me in Wisconsin. I brought it with me so I could play Xenosaga Episode 1 on PlayStation 2. And it's, you know, I was having a lot of fun with it until the game started trying to defeat me in its own way. I was going to say the hardest thing about Xenosaga so far has been my PlayStation 2 or my whatever condition the disc is in, because there was this, like, I was playing fine for so long, and then I got to this really hard boss, and I beat him, and then, like, the cutscenes after that started, like, chugging, to the point that, like, where it completely froze, and it just wasn't moving at all. And I'm like, oh fuck! And I didn't save after. There's no auto save in this game. You gotta go do it on your own and all that. And I'm like, fuck, do I got to start it again? Do I got to beat this guy again? So I pull the disc out, I wash it, I try to clean it up as much as I can. I pull it out while it's playing, I put it back on, it tries to load, but it still won't do it. So I was like, all right. So I turn it off, turn it back on. I go back and fight the guy again. I do a little bit better this time. I beat him in less rounds. He's not as hard. And I realize that I have this item that actually buffs me, that gives me 3 times the amount of damage than I did before. So, I could clear it in a couple rounds. So I go through and I clear it again, and I'm like, all right, maybe I could just skip the cutscene and get to the next one. And I skipped it, and then I waited on the other one, and then it got stuck again, and it got frozen, and it even said can't read disc, press triangle to reload, or press plus 0 circle to restart the cutscene. And I tried pressing the buttons, and it wasn't doing anything, and I was like, okay, fuck. So I turned it off, and I went to bed, and then I tried it again the next day. And I beat the guy in 2 rounds. I just blew through him.
Wow.
The third time. And then I just skipped the cutscenes until it stopped freezing. It's what I did. And now it's working okay again. So I did get past that guy.
So that must have been the part of the disc that was messed up.
Well, it still kind of chugs a little bit, because I was at this one part where there's this huge space battle that would look really cool, but it's kind of it's still kind of I mean, I don't know how long I've had this PlayStation 2 for. It's I don't know. I bought it with my tax return, 2004 or something like that. It's my PS2 might be dying, or discs, and as much as people like to say how much they like physical games and all that, they deteriorate over time. Especially discs, CD-ROMs. Eventually they're not gonna, they're just gonna fall apart just from no matter how good of condition you have them in. So that's kind of, that's the sadness about it. But so I don't know if it's the condition of my disc, and I bought it used, I bought it used from eBay, and I only tested it to see that it worked out front. But I'm 10 hours in now, and now it's starting to chug a quarter of the way through the game. So it's that sucks, because I really like the game. And as I've said many times on this podcast, this is from my favorite era of games. This is from the PlayStation 2, the GameCube era. This came out in 2001. I said 2002 was my favorite year of video games and all that. So this is the time that I love, and the game looks great. The characters look awesome. It's this really really epic sci-fi movie. There's so many cutscenes, but I don't feel it's overdone. I feel everything's interesting and all the characters are interesting, and you see stuff that you'll see in Xenoblade games later. They have that big. There's this big I don't know what you want to call it. There's this big golden monument thing that you see in every Xenoblade game at one point. I even saw it at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles X too. It's in everything, and you see a lot of similar characters and ideas. And of course, there's mechs in this too that you can use in the battle. The battle modes and all that. And it's turn based. It's a turn based old school RPG game, and it was it was a big part of me when I first bought my PS2, I was like, all right, I have a PlayStation 2 now. I can get good RPG games, I can get good RPGs. That's role-playing games there. But I was like, I can get good RPGs. Let's go look at what we got. So I remember going to GameStop, and I looked over everything they had, and I saw Dragon Quest 8 for PlayStation 2, and I looked at it, and I was like, I don't know. Those characters look like Dragon Ball. I don't really like Dragon Ball. I don't want that one. So I passed over Dragon Quest 8, which is a great game, which I played later on 3DS. I passed over that for Xenosaga 1, and that's what I bought. And I remember returning it because I think at the time I thought it was way too hard, and I just couldn't figure it out, because it is different than what I would have thought of RPGs at the time. There's no open world, it's very much place to place to place. You get something later where you can revisit places that you went to, but there's no map to it or anything like that. You're basically going from ship to ship, and it is very much in space and all that. So it doesn't feel like your traditional Final Fantasy or whatever, where you have an overworld and or you can grind, and that sort of thing. So maybe I just didn't understand it, or I just didn't get, the way to fight or whatever. But I feel like I've gotten better at it now that I've played the other ones. But I've been enjoying it, when it works. So I just hope it works long enough for me to beat it. It's supposed to be just under 40 hours. So I was going to try to, I was going to try to get halfway through while I'm here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Maybe I can get to 14 or 15 hours, but I've been trying to, I didn't make it all the way through Xenogears, so I was going to try to finish Saga for this episode, but I should have some time off, when I get back, so I'm going to try to get through it. But yeah, PlayStation 2 games, they're fun. I really wish this game would get re-released. I don't know what's. I'm sure they got their own, but it was like it's produced by Namco. Like in Nintendo and Namco have a pretty good relationship now. Would just love to see. Maybe they just don't. Maybe Takahashi just doesn't want to like go back to it and would rather just continue on with the Xenoblade Chronicles stuff. But it would be really cool to see a re-release of this. And there was actually a version on DS that has Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 like together as one game. And supposedly that's the best, like, most complete version of it. Even though it looks completely different than the PlayStation 2 one did, that's like the best told story, or like the way the events go together is the best. Because I guess when they go from 1 to 2 to 3, the art style like changes every time. And it doesn't feel as cohesive. So I would love to see that DS one re-released as well, but whatever. But yeah, this is the cheapest one. I think I mentioned when I was at Live Action Games that I saw Xenosaga 3 going for like $300. So I mean, 2 and 3 are much more expensive, but 1 you could probably get for like $20. But yeah, I think 2 is like 60 or 70. You'd probably find that online. But yeah, Xenosaga, Xenoblade. I'm in the Xeno world. I'm loving it. So there you go. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, nothing new for me
for this
besides anxiously waiting what's coming up in about an hour and a half here.
Yeah, John's been crazy Switch detective on here, which we'll get into that after we take a break here in a second. I guess you always throw movies out here, John, and I'm just going to do it for the hell of it. Because Jereme, you have Max, right? You have HBO Max or Max, whatever it's called. There's a horror movie on there called Companion. Have you heard about that? I've
heard about that movie
with Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. Right? Yeah. Have you seen it, John, or you just heard about it?
I've not seen it. I just heard about it. The trailer was cool.
It's really good. Yeah, it just dropped on Max like last week, and I'd been waiting for it for a long time, and Jess and I watched it, and I thought it was fucking phenomenal. It came out early. It came out in like January of this year too, but I'd heard people saying like it was the best movie that had come out at the time, like one of the first like really good ones of the year.
Kind of like a slow burn horror thriller.
It's like I don't want to give it away, but let's say it reminded me of 2 of my favorite movies, Terminator 2 and Blade Runner. So we'll just say that much.
I wouldn't have guessed though. That's cool.
So it's got you would say it's like a sci-fi thriller, but yeah, it's very, very cool, and it's done really well. There's a lot of like twists and turns to it, and I thought it was amazing. So if you got Max, check it out on there. But yeah, I think let's take a break, and then we'll talk about. I do want to talk about the Mario Kart Direct because it did happen, and I just watched it.
Which I completely forgot that there even was a Mario Kart. Honestly, like that was a while ago now, and my mind has just been consumed since then.
Yeah, less than a week, but I did some quick notes on it that we'll go through. But yeah, let's take a break here, and then we'll come back and talk about Switch 2 and Mario Kart Direct. Be right back.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go!
Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show!
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
All right, we're back from the break, and as of right now, it is 10:23 and 31, 32, 33, 34 seconds Eastern Standard
Ever
Time.
closer.
So we have an hour and a half left until the pre-order of the Switch, which our plan is to stop recording, obviously, like a half hour before, which I think we're still on the right track here to do that half hour before, so we can make sure and get all our stuff in line, get all our log into all your different accounts. I got my wallet over here somewhere right there, so I'll be ready to do it in case I need it. I made sure and got my cards out there and all that stuff. But before we get into that, why don't we talk about the Mario Kart Direct really quick?
Sure.
It happened last week. I mean, maybe you had forgotten about it. Maybe you didn't even see it. I know John watched it. I don't know if you got to check it out.
I saw it.
I watched it. Too.
I watched it I watched it 3 times. I watched it once by myself, and then I watched it with Jess, and I just watched it again just a few minutes before we started recording here, just to remind myself of what was happening with it and all that. And I kind of just did some quick notes just from what I was seeing. The one thing that that of course I remembered from it was that Kamek, they say comic in there.
Comic.
Because anime comic, that'd probably be the proper pronunciation of it. Not Kamek, but that's how we always call them. But anyway, regardless, he's an item now. You can throw him at people, which is funny. That's one of the many new items that they introduced in the Direct here, including what else? The coin shell, where you can throw this coin, and all these shells it'll make like a line of coin. You throw the shell, it makes a line of coins that you can drive over and go faster. There's an ice flower now where you can freeze people, even though I feel like that was in one of the other ones too. It doesn't feel that new. But the one thing that is new that I haven't seen before is the hammer, which I remember seeing that in the trailer before, and I thought maybe it was a Hammer Brother specific thing. I thought maybe they're going back to Double Dash, where everybody had their own specific items, which would be cool. But they're not. Everybody can use it. But you throw it at an arc, and the cool thing is it kind of it'll stay on the track for like a little bit, as like an obstacle that you got to get around, which is pretty cool there. So
they said the giant mushroom was new too.
That was in another one though. That was in.
Didn't they say that it was new? Or
they said it was new. They said it was new, but I'm saying they're wrong because I'm pretty sure that the giant mushroom was either in Mario Kart DS or Mario Kart 7. Because it was before. It was in one of them where you could get.
It had to have been 7.
It would make
DS came out before. The giant mushroom was
before New Super Mario Brothers. Maybe it was 7, or maybe it was Wii even, because I remember there being one where you became giant and you could run over people. Because there was this whole rash of games where all of them were giant Marios. Maybe it was after New Super Mario Brothers, but it was in like Paper Mario. It was in like Mario. I just remember seeing it. It was in Mario. It was in Mario Party also, where you could become giant and jump on people. It was in like every fucking Mario game where you got a mushroom and became huge. So it was just.
It was in Mario Kart Arcade GP.
Yeah, it's not. That's not the one I'm thinking of, though. It was definitely in one of the. I swear it was in one. I swear it was in one of the other ones. Even though I have played that one a lot, I thought it was 7 that had it. But I mean, because like I said, it was in everything. I know it was in Super. What was it? It was in Super Paper Mario, and it was also in one of the Mario parties also. That came out with a.
It says it's a Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, Mario Kart Wii. Yeah, that's what I said. Well, that's what I.
Other than that, it's only in the arcade.
But did they say? Am I misremembering that, or did we all remember the same thing? They said that it was brand new.
They said it was new, yeah. Because I just watched it today. They said it
Right.
was new, and I was like,
So maybe they screwed up.
they did that before.
You can't rewrite history, DuckTales. Woo.
Yeah, maybe it was just a fire flower that you could throw at people, but the ice thing felt familiar too. But I knew because I know you have the fire flower in the last one. I don't know. Mario Kart 8 has been around for so long that I just can't really remember like what is what
Before that.
on there. Yeah,
Yeah. Overall, I felt like this direct was good, but it was like everything that it was just an expansion of everything that they kind of already talked about before. They didn't really say much new. They did say there was going to be battle mode, which I'm grateful for that, but it's not the battle mode that we
not the Fortnite
deserve.
one that we talked about.
Yeah. Trey's idea of the Fortnite battle mode in Mario Kart. Come on, it's got to happen, especially in that
It
giant
could
world
happen.
that you got. Please, like, drop me off an airship in a Mario Kart.
Yeah.
and let me throw down.
Also, there's questions about the battle mode on this because, they haven't really explained like if it's just going to be part of the races, which would be a bad idea because that's what they did with Mario Kart 8, and it was awful, and then they had to come back with 8 Deluxe and kind of make it better because it was just like, oh, we'll just throw you on the tracks that we already
Definitely
have.
seemed like a rush. I think it was.
And
like
that
a
kind of
rush, so.
seems what they're doing now too. It doesn't look like they have like I guess they had that one with the blarg in the middle, right? That kind of looks like the 64 one with the lava in the middle, but I don't know.
I expect this game to be incredible. I just
Yeah.
there was nothing about this direct that was like, oh God, like I definitely have to play this. I'm super excited. Like I'm already excited for it, but it's like when you wait this long for a game and then on top of that, the previous one was so good, and then we've seen what Nintendo's done with all these open world games, and I want to say, do we know if Monolith's involved in this game? They gotta be.
Probably
Maybe I don't know.
Big world like that.
I don't know. We just know. I think we just pretty much know this is going to be great. And we always wanted. So many people wanted Diddy Kong Racing too. We all wanted that. This is going to be kind of like that, right?
Kind of like
Hopefully.
that.
Possibly.
Planes, trains,
Well-
automobiles. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Maybe it'll have some quests in it, like the DS version did.
Yeah, that was a big thing that we didn't know about is that there's P switches that you can run over that will unlock mission mode, which was a big thing about Mario Kart DS, one of the best Mario Karts of all time, in my opinion. It was the best one before I played Mario Kart 8. Like I love that game so much. Like it just did so much for the series, and it was the first online one as well. But yeah, no, seeing that like added, it made me more excited. Like having mission modes, and maybe we'll have bosses in there because Mario Kart DS did have bosses also.
That'd be cool. I think
bosses
got me the most excited was obviously it's kind of like a 3D platformer now. Like you can ride on the walls and jump off walls and kind of things.
Yeah.
So it seems like part of it now is not just how to drive somewhere, but how to get to an impossible ledge or rail or whatever.
Kind of like getting a secret tape,
like platform. Yeah,
Tony Hawk.
It does. It does kind of look a lot like Tony Hawk now. Which this actually kind of.
that.
I want to see more footage of the Sonic Racing Cross Worlds because Sonic was all about grinding too. Like it kind of reminded me of that sort of thing. And can you do that in that one? Like I don't know. I think another huge thing that they showed for this was the rewind ability. Even though I feel like that was in another game, not a Mario Kart game, but I think it might have been in like a Mod Nation Racers or something like that. I feel like I've seen it in another racing game. But it's so weird because you can rewind yourself, but everybody else keeps moving. So it's like, why would you do it?
It's probably to skip the whole Lakitu animation or Lock to animation and all that, like to just.
I guess. Well, in the video it shows like you go back and you can find a different pathway, but it's not going to help you because like 20 people pass you like as you're doing that.
So it's probably more for when you're like playing it for like collectibles or whatever. Which that's what I'm saying. I hope like even if you're playing it for the first time as a race, maybe you can just kind of not worry about winning the first time around and you can just explore. I don't know. Yeah. That'd be cool.
So helpful for practicing and trying to find your quickest route and all of that. Maybe there would be a few, routes that diverge where like, oh, wait a minute, it's actually kind of worth it to try and risk a rewind because maybe it'll save you, 15 seconds to take this route or whatever.
Yeah.
So it could be useful.
Yeah, possibly.
I think of that as the risk reward of doing the weird like track skips in like Mario Kart 64. Like those are so hard to land, but it's risk versus reward. Like that makes it exciting.
Sure. There was some other. There was other stuff that. There's a charge jump now. Like that was something I didn't know about. That's really
cool. Really cool. I think that's going to make it more playable as like an adventure game, not just a racing game.
It seemed well. You have the leaf back again, which they also said that was a new item, but that was in the first one, right, on Super Nintendo.
You mean the feather, the one that makes
the feather?
You jump?
That's what I mean, not the leaf, the feather. But the feather was in the first game, right, in the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, the feather was in the first game. I think it did something different, didn't it?
You could jump over walls.
Oh,
you would do like a really high jump, and you would spin around 360 degrees as you did it, and you would and I recall it mostly just being like for shortcuts, but it's really nice in battle mode to like jump over an obstacle or like jump into like there's some levels where you can jump inside the geometry a little bit, go inside of a spot where a shell can't hit you or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of what this does. You have the flower, but you also have the charge jump, which like you can kind of do. Maybe not jump as high as the or whatever the feather. No, I said flower.
Yeah,
but jump as high as the feather. But you have to hold it for a minute to. But
I also think in later Mario Kart games, they started to kind of make the items make more sense in the context of the Mario universe. Like when the feather was in Mario Kart, it was just because the feather was a thing in
Mario World.
Mario World, and when you used, and then another thing in that was you jump and do like a spin jump. So I think that was like kind of a shout out to that game. Whereas the feather is going to be more like a power up that you would get in Mario this time around, not just a little wink.
I do like overall the refocus on the Mario universe. I hope that they don't bring in Link and all the other characters. I like the idea of now we're going to expand to using like the cow or all the like random other Mario characters. There's so many things.
And cow,
snowman,
and coin
penguin.
pouch. I like the coin pouch.
Do that.
I'm going to be pissed if those Mercedes cars aren't in it.
Right.
True. Very, very true to the Mario universe. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rob is in it, but not in it. Well, so far
he's a bike.
Rob turned into a dog, right? Kind of when Yoshi turned into a dog, and
Mario Sunshine 2 or Galaxy 2. I mean,
yeah, Galaxy.
Or no, I guess he wasn't really. No, he was more of a Sunshine. Yeah, you're right. Sunshine.
And Sunshine, he was addicted to pills, and he would turn into them if he fell in water.
That's true. Yeah, we never made sense of it, but that's what happened. But yeah, no, I mean, I like yeah, it's not really anything that new, but it's just nice to see more of it because it's something that I want to do anyway. Boo Cinema looks amazing. That's probably going to be my favorite.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I really like seeing.
I think you jump into the screen or something in that one.
You jump through a screen. Actually, weirdly enough, there's a level in the Disney racing game that I played a lot of that actually looks exactly like this. It's a similar thing where you drive through a theater and you jump through the screen and then it does the film effect on you and you're going through like old like black and white Mickey Mouse cartoons and stuff like that. They did that in the free the Disney Speedstorm or whatever. It was in that game, and this level kind of reminded me of that. But hey, I love ghost stuff, and that's cool. I was really happy to see Wario Shipyard again. That was a Mario Kart 7 level that never made it to the 8 DLC stuff. And Dino Park, that was a big one that we never saw.
GameCube, right?
Yeah. And we never saw that in the DLC stuff for Mario Kart 8. And you know what? We haven't seen it yet, but Woohoo Island, please give us those levels. Give us the Woohoo Island levels from Mario Kart 7. Those are really cool. I liked them a lot. Maybe they just don't want us to remember Woohoo Island, but I say never forget. Bring it back. I want to see it.
Yeah, Woohoo Island is a character, like Miyamoto said back then.
Yeah.
I mean, they did use it for a lot of things, but they've just decided to forget about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything? Yeah.
I feel like overall they pretty much mentioned like 90, maybe not that, maybe like 80% of this, previously and before this direct. So this is all just kind of like a reiteration, just spending a little bit more time with it. There was nothing too much new. That's why I felt like it wasn't that exciting.
I wouldn't say 80%. I mean,
do you feel like you understand why it costs $80 now that you saw this?
No,
direct?
no, not necessarily.
No, I don't either.
But
nothing about this direct was like, okay, now I get why it's so expensive. Like I still just see it's going to be an incredible game, of course, but I refuse to believe it's a complete package.
It's an effort thing. It's like the same thing with like making like Tears of the Kingdom $70, but they think that if this was like a Switch 1 game, it'd be $70, but since it's a Switch 2 game, they're going to make it $80. That's what I think is where it's going for. Where they're like, oh, we put so much into it, so this is why we're charging this much.
I think they're doing a bad job communicating why it's $80, but I'm just totally guessing that because they know that this is going to be a long-term game. There's not going to be another Mario Kart on this system. This is going to be the Mario Kart for this system, and they're going to be doing this updating it, working on it, keeping it live for 10 years or whatever.
Doing
So that's why.
doing dev for a 4K game versus like a 1080p game's got to be like a huge jump in price.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And yes, I understand, but they're Nintendo.
Yeah, but also
They
this
got
versus
money.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, like that looks like a great game too. I just don't know why this one's $10 more versus that one. I'm only guessing that it's just because it's
I'm guessing
an
that
online game.
Yeah, that there's got to be people in charge of running. Like, they have
Right.
to have a staff to keep the game going.
I mean, this is Mario Kart. I'll put over 100 hours into this game, no problem. So I mean, it's not. I'm not mad about it. Like it's.
Yeah, I'm not the person that's complaining. I'm more the person who's like, obviously the internet was universally like, drop the price.
Yeah.
Or whatever during the Switch 2 presentation, and I don't know if the same thing happened during the Mario Kart 1 or not.
Yep.
But that's the
Probably.
internet. That's not me. But I do still like, man, it is like more of a punch to the gut for a video game purchase, because sure, I'll play it a lot and I'm sure it's great, and weeks after it comes out, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that was worth that. But like, if it was $40, I would say the same thing. I wouldn't be like, I would have paid twice as much for this. Like, I probably wouldn't say that. I would probably be happy I paid half the price. So, yeah, I just don't. I don't get it.
Here's another reason.
And it does not bode well for the future of video games.
Here's another reason. I don't think that I've heard this floated before. I think Mario Kart is probably $80 because they knew it was going to be the system seller, and they knew that they wanted to pack it in with the system. And they also knew they couldn't sell that system bundle for over $500. I think they ran all the metrics and figured it out what the best price, the top price they could possibly charge for the system with Mario Kart would be, and it was $500. And so to make up for some of that lost cost, basically we're getting the game, all three of us, hopefully tonight for $50, not $80. Right?
I did well,
and so to make up some of that cost, I think they probably had to charge more for the people who are not getting the Mario Kart bundle. That's my thought on that.
There's so much going on here. It's like, I don't know. I mean, obviously prices have to go up. The world is changing. Everything about how money works is changing, and constantly and fluctuating. And I get it. Like I say, I get it, but it's just like, what is the answer to that question? Was it Bill Tritten, or I can't remember who it was who said that, like, you'll understand why it's so expensive when the direct plays. That's one of those things that's they're going to live with for a while, because it's like, I think the answer to that is it's fucking Mario Kart. I think that's essentially what they thought was the answer. Come on.
Highest.
Are you going to get Mario Kart anywhere else? Nope. Pay fucking $80 for it and shut up.
Highest selling game of last generation, and highest selling game of every generation for Nintendo. Like it's the Mario Kart is the game. Mario
Kart's the game.
Like I said, our friends Caroline and Robert, that's like the only thing they play. Like that's the Wii Sports of Switch 1 is fucking is that. So,
and they're definitely expecting this to be the same thing.
So I mean, that's everybody. I don't think they would get a Switch 2 if there wasn't a new Mario Kart. Like I remember telling Robert about it, and he's like, "Oh wait, but can I get that on Switch 1?" I was like, "No, that's why. Nope. No, it's on Switch 2." He's like, "But why can't I get it on Switch 1?" I was like, "Well, because they want people to get a Switch 2, and because you guys put like 500 hours into Mario Kart or whatever, like that you're going to get it now because you love it so much." So I mean, it's a good move because like I said,
it'd be funny if Robert started a class action lawsuit to like get people to be able to play this on Switch 1.
Oh geez, yeah, no, he's got enough stuff to deal with.
I'm sure he does.
But
I'm just thinking, since he's a lawyer.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mario Kart bundle, though, at the end of this, at the end of the direct, it does say that it's only available till fall of 2025. So we know that there's only a limited amount of time for it.
Supposedly,
which sucks. Well, it's in the video. It says it in the.
It'll be a new
in the direct.
SKU or whatever, maybe, but I think it'll be back in some fashion.
Maybe they'll give you a $50 Donkey Kong Bonanza or something like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe this will be the annual package that they keep bringing back, another Mario Kart bundle like they do, for the holidays and all that.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So, but this time out, only until fall.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they showed most of it before, but you could have shown all this stuff during the Treehouse, if you wanted to. It was kind of weird that it had its own like separate 15-minute thing, but I don't care.
They had to wait a couple of days. They should have. I can understand making it a separate thing, but do it the next day after the Treehouse or whatever. Waiting this long didn't do it any favors.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I love Mario Kart and I love seeing more footage, but yeah, it was just kind of maybe they just wanted to stay in the conversation for another week, like while they try to figure out what the fuck's happening, and also in between episodes, yeah, we had the whole. Thankfully, the price didn't change, but the accessories did go up.
I think
the
this is honestly
regular system didn't. So.
So as a perfect solution given a shitty situation, bring the accessories up by $5 or $10 in the case of the dock. Apologies to Trey having to pay another.
Well, yeah,
but,
we'll see. I
two
know
more
that
docks,
I was, I listened to how irritating I was on the Switch 2 Direct episode, but yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I'll get 3 docks, but I'm envisioning it like last time, which Jess and I were trying to figure out. I think that the Best Buy that I got it from is that we got it from is the Best Buy right by our house now on Cicero. So I'm going to try to go there again because we were trying to find receipts of it. We were just describing like the way the parking lot looks and like the way everything's set up. And I was like, I think that's the one we went to for Switch 1. So hopefully I can get that again. But when I remember going in there at midnight and they just had everything out, like they were all the amiibo. Like here's all the games for Switch 1, and they just kind of walk you through this line with everything lined up, so you can look at all of it. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for, a lot of it, where I'll just be like, all right, I'll walk through there, maybe Street Fighter 6 amiibo are $40 now. That's a fuck ton of money. But maybe I'll get Luke. Even though I don't really even like any of the characters that they make the amiibos of. But Luke's kind of like the face of Street Fighter 6, so I think I'll probably just go for him. I might, depending on how my like whatever work and financial situation is at that time. Mine's always fluctuating, so who knows. But maybe I'll get that then, and if I see like a dock there, then maybe I'll do that, because that's kind of where I'm at there. But I guess on that note, we can kind of transition into how John kind of laid it out here, which is, I didn't even think about this, just saying like, what we're planning on getting like on the day, like what we're planning on getting, what we're getting now, I guess, for the pre-orders, or hope to get now for the pre-orders, and then what we're going to get on the day and whatnot. I'll just finish mine, I guess, since I already said that. Yeah, I'm obviously hoping to get it at that Best Buy in Cicero, which I made sure, because a lot of times my computer and my phone gets confused at like whatever location I'm at, and they'll think I'm like downtown or I'm in a different state or whatever. I want to make sure everything is right, has like my current address and all that, so I can get it at the Best Buy next to me. Even if I have to go to a different one, I don't care. That's fine, as long as I can get one there. So for me, I'm trying to get the system, hopefully the one with the Mario Kart in there. I saw some stuff online earlier showing that GameStop was going to get more bundles, that they're going to get regular ones. So it seems like hopefully Nintendo realizes they're going to sell more of the Mario Kart ones. So it seems like they're shipping more of those than they are the one without, obviously, because, much better deal. You save $30 or whatever. And it's a digital version. You don't get the game or whatnot, which I think they said that in the Direct as well, saying like this is, this comes with a digital code. I don't care. I'm getting digital for everything anyway. So whatever. But, yeah, that's my plan, is to just get the Switch system, hopefully the bundle with the Mario Kart. If I can't, if I have to get the other one and pay $80 like online for it on the day, whatever, that's fine. I'll do that. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to have it at like at a Best Buy where it was like the one last time, where we can where I can walk through and everything's lined up. And like I said, if I see a Street Fighter 6 amiibo, I might just do it like just in the moment. And look at how much the docks are, I guess, at the time. And we don't know anything about when the GameCube controller is on sale, but it's actually, the pre-orders already went up in Europe, so through the Nintendo shop today.
I mean, I'm thinking they probably
went up
want,
today.
Yeah.
They probably want people to have it in their hands launch day, because that's supposedly when the GameCube content's available.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be May 8th, because that's what they were saying for like the lottery thing online, where you could put your name in and they'll select you like to get it from Nintendo.com. But apparently on the Nintendo of UK, they already put it up. So there's a good chance we might see it up in the next couple of days. So if I can get a hold of the GameStop controller, not GameStop controller, that'd be terrible. The GameCube controller, I'll go for it. But I mean, we don't even really know how much that is. They've never really put out a price for that yet. So, but still, I'm going to guess
$80.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I definitely want to get that.
Which is hilarious when you think about it, because you could get a GameCube for $100.
I was going to say, when I got my GameCube, well, this was like 15 years ago. I got mine for $40 with the Game Boy player on it.
At the end of its life, you could buy a brand new GameCube for $100. From
retail. Oh yeah, you can get like the Metroid Prime set with Metroid Prime 1 and 2 on there. I got a big box that has that on there that has an advertisement for the Metroid Prime set with 1 and 2 on it.
So when did the pre-orders go up for Europe for the system? So I'm thinking maybe it would be a similar pattern.
Oh, like
for
two,
us.
like I mean,
like
the
2 weeks
9th,
or whatever.
It went up on the 9th.
It went up on the 9th. So however many
But
days
that was
that
because
is.
but that was because of tariffs. That was because of the issues with tariffs. Is why because it was supposed to go up on the 9th, but it was delayed because our country sucks.
Right.
Well,
So
there's one up on the
original-
9th that they got the controller today, pre-orders. So that's what 2 weeks. Maybe in 2 weeks, which I guess would again point to May 8th.
Just keep.
I don't know.
Well, no,
No.
I say just stay on the fucking internet and keep looking because
I think it's going to be.
I don't believe the May 8th anymore since the UK one went up today. No way. Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's
believe
not
it.
gonna. I don't believe that.
I really honestly think they want you to buy it, like, to where you're like chomping at the bit to have it the day you get your Switch. Therefore, they want it to be available. Right.
I would put if I was putting money on, I would say it'd be closer to today than the May 8th date. But as far as like later stuff that I'll get, obviously I'll get DK Bonanza whenever that comes. That's coming out in July. I'll get that then. Maybe I'll get Cyberpunk 2077 if it's on sale, even though I haven't heard a whole lot of great things about it. Apparently at the show it ran like shit from what people.
Oh,
said.
you mean about this specific version? I was like, I've talked pretty good things about.
No,
it.
I'm talking about the Switch 2 version. It's not great, from what I heard. From what they had on the show floor, it's a couple people said it ran like shit. So, but apparently it's not the final build, but
right.
it's like
Well, of course they're going to say that.
it was struggling.
So why was it on the show floor?
Why even put it? It was struggling to hit like 20 FPS or something like that. I listened to Digital Foundry's podcast on the way here when they
I'd
do
rather
the
just
breakdown,
hear
and they
that
weren't-
it's
they weren't
coming
very
than-
impressed with it.
See a shitty version of it. Like, don't do that again to us, Cyberpunk. Like,
Yeah, right.
you of all games.
I'm interested on like as far as like the launch day. I'm getting Street Fighter 6 digitally also, which I don't think enough people are talking about how great of a deal that is. Like you're getting like this is doing what Capcom is doing what Nintendo don't, right? Or what Nintendo can or whatever. Because Nintendo's releasing like fucking Breath of the Wild for $70 without DLC. So if you want Breath of the Wild for Switch 2, you got to pay $90 if you want the DLC. Street Fighter 6 is giving you Street Fighter 6 with 2 years of DLC for $60. Like I think that's a fucking great deal. And in crossplay, you'll be able to play it across systems, which is awesome. I don't think that I was trying to find if there's any sort of cross save, but I don't know anything about that. But just you can play everybody. That's amazing.
Wait a second. Do you think they're going to add Tears of the Kingdom content, like as a pay, like that you have to buy,
Like new content?
like
Yeah.
DLC? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. I mean, well, probably not.
I think they were pretty emphatic about they're not doing any more DLC. And I don't know. I hear what you're saying about it's a new system, new day, all that kind of stuff.
$80.
new version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we get upgrades for free on that. But no, but Street Fighter 6 is a great deal. Like I said, for anybody who hasn't played it, who's just going to play it on Switch, apparently it runs great. Digital Foundry, they were really impressed with it. I just want to know how the load time compares with PS4 because PS4 was kind of slow. It's probably going to be about the same, but it runs at 60. That one runs at 60, so it was a joy for me to play. And the single player, where you can run around and beat everybody up is fucking awesome. And I'm fine with starting that again because I never beat it. And there's 26 extra fighters or something like that from the 2 years. I mean, mostly I want to play Terry Bogard and Mai from King of Fighters, but I'm very excited about that for $60. And then I'll get a Bravely Default Flying Fairy for $40, which is the same price that it was when it came out on 3DS. So that's pretty awesome.
That's
And it
pretty
hasn't
cool.
changed,
That is cool.
and it's the HD version. And there's some really cool dual mouse. There's a dual mouse mini game where you can control an airship, which I saw. What was it? Switch Up was playing, and it looks pretty cool. You use both mouse, and you just it kind of looks like Steel Diver, sort of, except you're piloting an airship through Final Fantasy looking world, and I like that shit. Why not? Let's try it out. We're hitting dials and making it go up and down and change, and you're flying through rings and.
It's like all the games they added to all the Mario game, like the different Mario games that had the DS specific mini game suite built into
they
it.
just have poker and stuff in there, right? That you just use the touchscreen for. Yeah, I never beat.
But this isn't first party.
Yeah, I never beat the original Bravely Default, and I love Bravely Default too. So, I'll go back to it. As a friend of mine, listener too, I think it was Jesse Folks would always say that was the God tier. Bravely Default 1 was the God tier. Nothing could ever touch it. So he thought that was one of the best games of all time. So
That's cool.
it's a good one. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Plus, there's more digital stuff. they're doing like, what is it, a sequel to Fast RMX, Fast Fusion. They just saw more stuff about that coming out on the day. So I'll probably check out that again just because I did for Switch 1, and it appears it's going to run really fast, but not 120 FPS yet, but they said they might do it down the line. So, we'll check that out as well. But we'll see. Oh, and that Rune Factory game, I actually was really interested in it when it was originally announced. It's like Rune Factory plus Breath of the Wild sort of thing. That one looks really cool, and it's going to be on Switch 2. And actually, really, what they're doing, which I haven't seen anybody else do that yet, but the physical copy of Rune Factory, the Switch 2 version, works on both systems. And it's all on the game. It's all on the card. So if you buy it, the Switch 2 version, you can play it on Switch 1 or Switch 2. That's how everything should be going forward. Like everybody should.
So that makes me wonder about
copy
the
exactly what they're doing. Yeah. Where you get, if you play it on Switch 2, you play the upgraded version. If you play it on Switch 1, you play the Switch 1 version. But it's the same.
I see
but
what
it's
you
the
mean.
same
Okay.
thing.
But you can't take the Switch 2 cartridge and put it in the Switch 1. That's not.
No, you can. No, that's what I'm saying.
How is that possible? Because they made they made it in the form factor of a.
It fits both. Yeah,
Which
I mean
one?
the game thing. Yeah, the game is going to be the same. But I was saying that should be every Switch 2 game, right? It should be able to work. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like buying a PS4 game and getting a free PS5 game. Like
it's one of the only
it's also
reasons
a
I
good
own a
incentive.
PS5 is because of all those free. Like I already knew I had all these PS5 games waiting for me because I had bought the PS4 versions.
It's not only a good idea because it's convenient. It's a good incentive for the developers to include, because if you make it available for both, then you own it on Switch 1, but you're like, oh, but I could try this on Switch 2. It could look nicer,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
That's what
a
I'm
good
saying. Like I bought Street Fighter 6 for PS4, and I have a copy of it for PS5. If I ever get a PS5, I just have it.
Mhm.
I got it for free. So I think Capcom did that with all their games, right? If I would have
You
bought
also have Elden
Resident
Ring
Evil
for
4, I'd get
PS5.
one on PS5 also. Oh, yeah, because you got me the disc for PS4,
Uh-huh.
so it works both ways. Cool. But yeah, no, that's I guess that's what I'll be doing. What you guys talk about your
Well, I can
plans
get through
here.
mine pretty quick because I really, like I said, I just got back from vacation and there's other stuff going on with bills and stuff. So don't really feel like I can completely afford this, but I want it. And I feel like I have to occasionally be like, well, I need this for research. This is one of those things I need for research. It's a new console. So I'm going to get it, but I'm just going to get the MK World bundle. That's all I want today. And I probably am going to sell some stuff on eBay, some of my video game stuff, because I really think that, I don't know. This is the first time, I don't know.
You want to do the trade-in for GameStop? Apparently,
All right, so
they're letting you do the thing where you can like take it home and switch your games and then bring it back in, like they did for the 3DS.
I'm
and
not
all
doing that.
I'm sure you want, maybe you want to keep another copy for Sean.
No,
or
the Switch.
whatever. Yeah.
No, the Switch is like the Switch console itself. I think I'm probably emotionally attached to that. I'm
Me
not
too.
getting rid of that.
No way I'd do that. Nope.
Just I don't know. I became very protective of it during the era when there were no cloud saves, and now I've never been able to like stop being a clingy mother to that thing. A helicopter dad or whatever they say. Like I wanted this thing to be safely in my clutches for good. But no, I want to sell things. I want to sell something. And so one thing I've been looking at, it's on the wall back there between the ghost and my Link painting. Can you tell what that is?
Oh, Fire Emblem?
That's not Fire Emblem.
Oh, you want to sell Urban Yeti?
I want to sell my complete in box copy of Urban Yeti.
Oh,
I
sad.
Send them out back into the wild.
It makes me sad. And I actually talked to Shauna about this a lot today. And I think she helped me understand that I don't need it. I love it, but I don't need it because it's not a game that I actually enjoy playing. Also,
you have an open copy of it, right? That you can play if
I
you really
have
want
an
to.
open copy of it
Yeah.
that I can play if I really want to.
So how much does that go for?
Is a sealed copy something worth something?
I
It's
think
not
it's worth something.
sealed.
Oh, it's just
But it is
complete
complete
in
in
box.
box.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Today I looked up how it's been selling on eBay, and a cartridge without a manual or anything, just a loose cartridge, was selling for $200.
It's pretty good.
I went to completed auctions, by the way. I like made sure like this is something that's sold recently.
Oh yeah, I
And
should.
so
do
I
that.
looked up complete in box, and I couldn't find a recently sold version of that. I was like, well, people are probably asking too much for it. So I looked at what people are asking for. They're asking for like 400 plus for it. So,
Yeah.
theoretically, maybe
Have you?
sell it and cover a good chunk of the cost, and it would have definitely be an appreciation on what I paid for it. So I think I paid over $100 for it like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. I've had it for a while, but it's just gone up in value since I got it because it's such a great game.
You did your taxes, right? I'm sure you did. Tax day was last week. Do you got any refunds?
Not so much. W4's been screwy up
because I have
last 2 years.
I did, yeah. I actually did so far. I mean, we'll see, but I'm supposed to do all right on it, on my refund. So I would say that'll help me out with it as well.
Well, here's the thing: like, I could do it and make sacrifices elsewhere, but it's like there's so much other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you got the big trip too.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to say it right now, and I've kind of implied it before, but the more I learn about the Switch 2, the less I'm excited about it. It's the opposite of how I felt about the Switch 1. The more I learn about it, the less excited I am about it because it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like, other than the mouse thing, it's just a better Switch 1, which is good.
Not Nintendo weird.
It's not Nintendo weird.
Well,
and, it also is just like,
what does it do that your PS5 doesn't do?
Where does it shine?
Portable, I guess.
It shines in Mario Kart World. I think I'm buying this thing for Mario Kart World and for the podcast. Not to say I'm not trying to make the podcast feel guilty. Sorry, podcast.
Give us more money. Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast so Jeremy can get a Switch too.
But no, I want it. I want it. But for the first time, I don't know. When the Switch came out, it was goddamn time for something new, to do something else. The Switch 1's doing great.
Yeah, still doing fine.
The Switch 2
doesn't really need it to.
Switch 2 feels like a bridge to what they're going to do eventually, but initially it's going to be kind of a bridge console with some exclusives. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be great. When I hold it, I'm going to love it. Like I said, a couple weeks into owning it, I'll be like, this is fine. But the drive to own it just doesn't feel like it did last time. Maybe it's because I'm older.
I felt
maybe it's because there's more going on in my life now. But
yeah,
it's different in a whatever. I mean, I want it, but
yeah,
there's more. I don't know. There's more of this like realistic sort of reflection on what it represents as a piece of tech that I don't know. I'm having a harder time justifying that it's the coolest thing ever.
The same in some ways, and I think part of it is because I've now been through several console launches. You know what I mean? Like with each new one, just like, oh, I've been through this before. So, the very first one that I like was really like conscious and like aware of and like anticipating was the N64, and I was like hyped for that one. And then the GameCube, I was really excited for that one. Then the Wii, I was excited for it does get a little bit less and less with each console because another one's going to roll around and all that. Part of the rhythm of these things.
I think it's also that the Switch, back to it, it's the Switch 2 is basically everything we wanted.
Right.
And that's all almost disappointing. Like when you get exactly what you asked for Christmas, like it's cool, but like
where's the surprise?
Maybe you wanted a little surprise. Maybe you wanted to find like something cool in your stocking or whatever, like that you didn't expect. Like maybe there's still some little thing we don't know about. I doubt it. But what is a Switch 2 other than the super beefy version of what I already have?
I mean, we've only seen like a couple games so far. I mean, it's dropping in June. Like there's always a direct around then. Like the old Ghost E3 time or whatever. I feel like we'll see another one. We'll see some stuff in summer games for sure. Like I feel like they're only showing us a couple things because we're only getting like a few months here. Like because I think they're still going to do well. I mean, 3 technically because
not even a few,
because the Kirby DLC is like comes out in August. So like they have like it's like June, July, August. They have their big 3 games for those months. But it's like what's after that? Because I was trying to break down, when the fuck is fucking Metroid Prime 4 coming out? God damn it. Like, is it going to be, like there's still no release date for it or anything.
It really should be a launch game, but I feel like they would have told us if it was by now.
I mean, I would have been.
We'll get a June Direct, no doubt, like shortly
We'll
after
get
launch.
A specific Direct.
Keep the hype going.
Sure, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
About,
and we'll see more stuff. And
everything else is coming down the line.
The big thing, I mean, yeah, Switch 2, I'm not really that. I mean, of course, yes, I'm excited about it, but I wanted it to be a little bit more. Like I said, I wanted to be a little bit closer to PS4 or PS5, I guess. And there's not, I love Mario Kart. Mario Kart looks awesome. DK Bonanza looks great. But I just keep telling myself, you haven't seen the Xenoblade yet. You haven't seen what Xenoblade is on here, and that's gonna fucking blow my mind. Like, just because the Xenoblade games blew my mind so much on Switch 1.
Yes.
I just can't wait to see what Monos is going to do with the tech, because it's going to be really fucking cool. And like they're like the new Final Fantasy for me. Like, Final Fantasy is what they did a fucking action game. Like, it's even considered by many people to be an action game for Final Fantasy 16. It's like they did a Devil May Cry or whatever. Like, I feel like Xenoblade has gotten so much more. Like, Xenoblade X has been like on the top of the charts in Japan like since it came out. It's like I'm just very excited to see what they do, and I'm glad that Monolith Soft is in a good place with Nintendo and all that. And not even, think about all the other Nintendo, whatever the next Zelda is or whatever the next Mario is, like 3D Mario, which they did say, there's one in the wings and all that, or, so, I'm excited to see like the first party stuff, and mostly Xenoblade, just because I'm in the Monolith Soft world, and can't just wait to see what they do with the new system and all that. So,
well, let me say, back to what I was saying before, I'm going to get it. I'm going to be happy about it. I didn't have this much existential dread about it before. And maybe it's also just, like I said, that I've been through more with video game launches and getting disappointed and stuff. But I really wanted to have good luck, so I'm putting on all my good luck charms.
Oh, there we go.
I want to prove I'm a Nintendo fan. So Nintendo, I know you're watching our podcast. I've got a Nintendo tattoo, wearing a Nintendo shirt, and I've got
Top it off.
hat that I just got this week.
I say, did you make
the Birdo?
That's a
like,
really
crocheted
cool
hat.
Yeah, it's a really cool Birdo hat.
I bought it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where'd you buy it at?
Etsy.
Etsy, nice.
Etsy.com. I bought it for
I left all my trolls at home.
multiple
I should've
future
brought 'em with
events. But man, I love this thing.
For those not watching, which is most of everybody, it's a crocheted Birdo
Besides
hat.
Nintendo,
complete.
who is watching.
Nintendo's definitely watching, and they're coming to sue your ass for that hat. So hide it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's got the even the Birdo mouth, comes out and all that stuff. So it's about as best a Birdo crocheted hat as you could ever see.
It is quality. Yeah, definitely.
I love it. And I plan on wearing it to the Horse the Band show.
Oh yeah, isn't that in like June too?
Nice.
Because the title track of that is about how much they hate Birdo. So hopefully I won't be beaten up in the mosh pit. But yeah, this hat, I had to have it. I was looking up hats and like, yeah, this is handmade. The price I paid for it was a little pricey, but for a handmade
Worth
item
it.
like this, oh my
It's
gosh.
quality.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks real good.
Yeah, so
Those blacks
yeah.
are so black.
I'm all Nintendo'd out.
They crushed the blacks.
And I am ready to own a Switch 2. Please, Nintendo, let me have it.
Well, I think the surprise with Nintendo always comes in the software. This is one benefit we have over the other players in the industry is like, Nintendo is going to bring surprises with their software every time. So maybe not, we didn't get surprised by the hardware. We got what we expected with the hardware, what we were wanting and asking for. But man, June Direct, I think, is going to be where, if you don't have as much hype as you might have anticipated, June Direct is going to bring it. I'm looking forward to that. For me, for what I'm getting this time around, today, I'm going for the Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle. And I'm going for the all-in-one carrying case and the Pro Controller. The carrying case because I know I'm going to bring it back and forth with my sisters. And my excuse is like, well, I'm spending $500 on the console. What's another $85 to make sure it doesn't break when I'm driving it around?
I'm gonna try to fit it in my original one. I'm gonna see because it is the same. It is, well, it's a little bit taller, right? But it's still the same. Yeah. But it's still like the same exact like width. So I'm gonna see how I can fit it in there. I mean, obviously I'll have to get one eventually too, but I want to see if it'll fit in the one I already have because I'm not I don't want to throw another $100 at this right now.
I'm actually excited about the carrying case. I think it looks pretty sleek. Like, I don't know, it's like cool matte design and all that. It looks stylish.
Does it look that much different from the one you already have?
I love cool Matt.
It's totally different.
Matt's a cool guy.
It's totally different, yeah. And then the Pro Controller, I was
surprised you got sold on that. I thought you wanted to actually try it out and see how bad the control pad is.
Oh, I forgot to say what I was going to get later. I'm going to get DK Bonanza. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Oh, DK Bonanza, yeah. I'm getting that later too.
And Metroid Prime 4 whenever it gets released.
Oh, of course.
Best Buy is offering several different bundles aside from the Mario Kart. They got a couple different options. One of them is a Mario Kart bundle plus DK Bonanza, and if push comes to shove and that's the only one that's available, I'll get that instead. And then maybe I'd wait on the Pro Controller or something for later. Some speculation, some advice that I've heard online is those bundles actually might be easier to get because fewer people are trying to get those, so that's a good option at Best Buy.
I've noticed from seeing numbers of what they have at different GameStops or whatever, like I've seen in like the different literature I've read, it seems like they're getting more copies of the bundles than the ones without games. So maybe that's sort of like
oh yeah, that's what I said.
So yeah, the Pro Controller, I've just been hearing good things about it, and I kind of convinced myself, like, I don't know, I want the full day one experience. Like it's going to feel a little less new, I think, if I'm using the same old 8-bit Do controller. And so I'll give it a shot. I was going to give it.
You can just use the magnet one that comes with it. That's what I'm going to do to get a new experience. Just slap it together. You got the dog face controller or whatever on there, even though I don't think it has the different colors like the original one. But I mean, you can do. That's what I'm going to do. I'll just slap it on there. I got my chat button that I'll maybe use once. And
I'm a little on the fence about it. Maybe I'll get the sticker shock when I buy the system and hold off on the Pro Controller. I don't know. I'm a little on the fence about that.
I mean, the only thing that kind of intrigues, I guess, is like the headphone plug. But it's like you got your own house. It really doesn't matter. Like I mean, me caring about like a Bluetooth headphones or whatever went out the window once we got a house. It doesn't really. It's fine.
It's a cool thing, but I rarely
sleeps
use it
with headphones in, so it's like.
And I'm too worried about it affecting game performance to do it in handheld mode, so I just don't fuck with it.
Well, I've been hearing good things about the Pro Controller too. I haven't heard much about the D-pad, which is what I'm really waiting on. But everyone says that the sticks feel really nice.
Why is no one talking about the D-pad?
I don't understand it. Yeah, talk about the D-pad. That was the big problem.
There's something. Either there's something they're hiding in a good way or a bad way.
But even like the people who've gone to the events and stuff, nobody talks about the stupid D-pad. Just tell me, is it squishy or not?
I was like, maybe there's not really. I mean, who's really playing with it? Like maybe you use it on Street Fighter 6, but they want you to have like the motion shit or whatever, like.
Right.
And they want you to use different controllers for the console stuff, so, like as far as like the classic games and stuff. So it's like maybe by making it bad.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot of games that utilize it. So it's like.
I love the D-pad.
And I want to get the GameCube controller whenever that launches, May 8th or sooner or whenever. So I'm looking forward to that. On launch day, I want to get the camera, even though, I don't really see myself using it a whole lot. It's just like a cool new Nintendo thing. And I don't think it's that expensive, $55 for a camera.
Yeah, it's probably about, I mean, I'm just going to use my whatever they're called. I have two HD cameras that I bought for like $40 on Amazon. I'm just gonna get an adapter and just use that for the one time that I use Game Chat.
I'll get that. I'll get Hitman, of course. Then I'm gonna get Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, $10. I wish it was packing. The $10 is not terrible.
You can be the ambassador for it.
I'll be the guinea pig on that. Yep. I'm just curious about the official whatever we had Wii Sports. Then there was Nintendo Land. This is kind of like this generation's that. So I want to see that. Later, I'm going to get the basic carrying case, which is just the one for the system alone.
Are you getting two cases?
I have two right now. And there's uses for each one. So if I'm just going somewhere quick and I'll use the smaller case, throw it in my backpack, whatever. Most times I use the big one. I'll get an extra AC adapter so I can plug it in, by the bed or whatever, put it on the Tri one. I will get the Joy-Con wheel set just because I can see my nephew or my niece using those.
You have kids in your life. That makes sense.
I just hope you can still say I'm using tilt controls online.
Yep.
Because that's still funny from Mario Kart 8. I'm using tilt controls. I hope you can still message that when you're standing on the world or however you do that in the lobby system. Maybe when you wave to people in the world, you can say I'm using tilt controls.
You can just say it on the camera, so you can just say it to yours. Hey, I'm using tilt controls.
Yeah.
And actually, I might get that even the Joy-Cons wheels tonight because there's a Best Buy bundle, which again, maybe that's a better odds if I get the Mario Kart bundle with the Joy-Con wheels for 30 extra bucks. I don't know. Yeah, of course I'm getting a new micro SD card. Wait till Christmas. I'll get a terabyte one, hopefully for 170 or whatever it's going to be at that time.
I saw them online, like they put them back online on Amazon for like 189 or something like that. I'm not
right now. I don't need it right
now. We talked about it a few times. Like I'm going with the fridge, the old fridge system. We'll just I'll try to just maybe that can help me focus on games better. Like I've said, I'm like the opposite of Jereme. I can't do the hyperfixation. I just fixate on too many things at once. Where I'm like, shiny things distract me or whatever. It's like, oh yeah. I mean, I have like. Right. Or like I'll buy, I buy games that I always try to force myself to play whatever I buy, but I'll play one game for 30 hours and be like, oh well, what about this one? But also I try to do it for the show, also just to
I do the same.
Have new content stuff to play.
Like I stopped playing Xenoblade Chronicles X like 2 weeks ago. I need to go back to it.
Sure. Yeah. I guess it's Xenoblade is the main one that'll always forever have my hold. I guess they can keep me on those games, but yeah, it's like I think specifically I was really determined to get through this one. And plus it's like, it's a great fucking podcast editing game. Like it's great to just put on because, you can't really pause it, but you can just go to the menu whenever you want to but you can do it in like the middle of a fight or whatever. You can just hit the menu button but it's like some of the like missions are so mindless that you can just do it while you're editing. Like I don't do like the affinity missions, but the basic and the regular missions, I could do that all day while editing. So it was a really easy one to play.
Especially the item, like the ones where you're just collecting items and stuff.
Yeah, or like the ones where you got to hunt, like even when you're doing like when you're hunting the giant monsters or whatever they're called.
Tyrants.
The tyrants. Yeah, when you're doing the tyrants or the ones where you have to hunt like multiple of whatever, it's like, just do the follow ball, just walk to it and just fuck it up, and it's so easy. So
I spent pretty much the entire afternoon yesterday, about 7 or 8 hours, just like thinking this all out and planning out different scenarios. What would I do with this scenario, that scenario? I went to every single one of the online retailers. I made sure all my accounts were straight, had the credit cards, had the correct addresses and information and all that kind of stuff. I made wish lists, like on each of the sites. I went on, made wish lists, and I arranged them in an order of preference. Just to, if I couldn't get this combination, I'd get that one or that one after that. And, so I'm pretty confident that I've thought out every possible scenario for what's about to happen in 44 minutes.
Oh boy.
So I feel pretty comfortable with it.
And
I also,
yeah,
I also have, I utilize bookmarks a lot, like just in my general web browsing. I have folders set up for different scenarios, and
the two of you love folders.
You're all
I love folders.
Actually, have you thought about that, John? Though this is the thing we've never talked about, but this depresses me. You know that all of our folders are going to disappear when we get switched to. You know that, right?
So I got to remake all the I'm hoping the folders are day one thing.
John's excited about
folders. They'll probably be there. I'm just saying you have to.
John's like, oh dang it, I have to build a bunch of folders again.
I'm just saying
I like making folders.
You have to create them again. I just really like the way my folders were on Switch 1, so I'm gonna have to just like put the two systems next to each other and just try to make them exactly the same.
Just screenshot each folder.
Well, because I have my ultimate game of the year folder that has like every game of the year game since we first started this podcast on there in order from beginning to end.
And I think you can do that.
I love that folder, and
easily.
It's just annoying. I have to just do them all again.
You're emotionally attached to the folder. I get it.
I love the folders. They're great. I got my party folder. I got my fighting game folder. I just like go right to it. That's where everything is.
I have my like 4 folders I made when we were talking about it on the podcast, and I've not gone back to them.
I use them like all the time. Yeah, and I have my like game of the year stuff. I have like new games. I have like my sealed game folder. Like I have all these different folders. I know John does as well. Where you have all this different shit.
It's the first thing that I do when I get a new game before I even play the game is decide what folder it goes in. And so it's probably what I'm going to be doing first thing when I fire up the Switch too, is make the folders, do all that.
That's like what
You're going to come on the show next week and or the first week of the Switch and be like, I didn't play any games, but the UI, it's pretty good. Yeah. I made a folder, and then
John's
I also
folder review.
Folder.
Yeah.
I made another folder.
Yeah, hopefully the folders are. Nobody's really mentioned it, but it's got to be right. I hope that's there from day one. You have
to redo your entire eShop wish list. Oh, dang it! I guess I'm gonna go do that.
Well,
all 400. I'll like be playing a game and I'll be like, oh, you know what? I don't have a folder for this yet, and then I'll just like stop the game and then go make a folder and then go back to the game. Like I do this all the time. Where I'm like thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, because I've been like trying to collect all these Vita games, which I didn't mention. Like my nickname, the Vita Killer. That's the final boss is called the Vita. Like the giant skull that the one dude gets in is called the Vita, which I thought was kind of hilarious. Like the PlayStation Vita, it's called the Vita. That's what you find. That's the final boss. Well, obviously not the final boss because there's
Living La Vida Loca.
There's other shit, but the giant skull that they have that the ganglions have is called the Vita. So that's what I said. That's why I call myself the Vita Killer.
I believe it might be a reference to life.
Well, sure. But I think about the PlayStation Vita. But I just thought about that because I have been collecting all the PlayStation Vita games. I finally got the Freedom Wars, which I still haven't played yet, but that was another Vita game that I wanted to play that's on Switch. But yeah, I love those weird ones.
Yesterday when I was setting everything up, prepared, I made folders in my browser and bookmarks in my browser. So I have it set up so I can open one folder just for Switch pre-orders, and then everything comes up. I have like 11 different pages to each different store and the wish lists, and like I'm gonna click on it in about 15 minutes or so and just be ready to go.
I think you would like blueprints because you're kind of building you're doing the same thing. You're building a blueprint of your path to the Switch. I appreciate it and I admire it, and maybe it'll pay off for you and I won't get it, but I've just got my 2 websites. As far as I know, I'm trying to avoid supporting Amazon and Target, so they're not on there.
Well, Amazon's on the outs anyway, so
Target.
Target's
there.
Target's there. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have Target. I'm just trying to avoid shopping there.
What's wrong? What's wrong with Target? What did they do?
I think they're just big donors to he who must not be named.
Oh,
to Dumpy?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, because Walmart's doing midnight, and we always.
I think they were
swear against Walmart because
instigate
of
policies and
Walmart
stuff like
sucks.
that. Yeah,
but I always kind of liked Target because it wasn't Walmart.
No, I don't like Walmart either, but I had to have 2, right? And so at the moment I chose that, and I probably just it's the same thing. Like, this whole thing feels so gross compared to when I ordered the first Switch. It's so weird. It's so different.
I did get a message from one of our one of our friends, guests on here that I'm just going to read on the show. I just got it like not that long ago from our from St. John from Des Moines. Sent a message to all of us on Facebook, whatever. Good luck tonight to any of you attempting to pre-order. I am already logged into the Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and GameStop sites with payment info pre-populated. I'll go sit down in front of the computer about an hour from now and get ready to do my best. Even with all this preparedness, I harbor no delusions that this will be a shoe-in for me. So wish me luck, and I wish all of you the very best as well. That's from John Wedgeworth.
If you want luck, you gotta get yourself one of these hats.
Yeah, I was gonna say I left all my trolls at home. I have a box of trolls that I collected in high school, which I was actually gonna try to sell, but yeah, I didn't bring any of those for good luck. All I have is my essay. I don't have any sort of good luck thing. I just have my PS2.
I've only called this good luck as of today because I just wanted to kind of have this whole Mario theme going. Yeah,
I guess you could say anything is your good luck. It's like I got my good luck PlayStation 2 controller or something. I don't know.
This hat is incredibly hot, and I don't want to wear it anymore, but I'm going to keep wearing it for the duration of this video. It is very well insulated. It's a very warm hat.
So that's a cool hat. Did you say everything you were going to get, John?
I mean, I got a lot more to say, but we only got 8 minutes until we're going to sign out and get ready to go.
Let's wrap her up.
Sure. Are you gonna get Elden Ring? Is Elden Ring releasing?
It's on my list.
No, I was talking to John because John said that.
Oh yeah,
I know you've already played it, but you had said that you're. Is it coming? Is it day on, right, or day of?
Not. No,
because I guess they're still adding stuff to it. They said, what was it? Sonic X Shadows Generation is day one.
That was just announced as day one. Yep.
What I want to know is because I already have Sonic X Shadows Generation on Switch 1. Can I get an upgrade? Because it's not that much different. I mean, there is no difference. Like, it'll just have a higher frame rate. So, It's not
They're
like
gonna put Oblivion on the Switch too before they put.
fuck that game. I saw the like. Yeah, they're doing I hate that game so much. That's like one of the few games I gave it away because I hated it so much. I was like, this game is fucking garbage. I gave it away to my brother-in-law. I was like, here, you play this piece of trash. Like this game.
One of the articles I saw today.
I hate that game so much.
From Polygon, they said the remake of Oblivion looks really brown. Like that was I'm paraphrasing the headline. I'm like, that's from the brown era. Don't you remember? Everything was brown back then.
I mean, the brownness wasn't the problem. The problem was that the gameplay was shit. And any game that I can play for like 10 hours and not progress in any way just irritates the fuck out of me. And that's what broke me on that game. Is like, I've been playing this game for 6 hours and I haven't done anything. It's like I just hate the way I saw something on Twitter that was like, looks good, still plays like shit. So like they're showing videos of where the combat is still as terrible as it was when it first came out. So I was like, yeah, fuck that game. And yeah, the last 8.4 podcast, they were trashing it too. And I was like, yeah, somebody else remembers how much Oblivion sucked. And I was excited about it because people just kept blowing that game constantly. And then I played it and I was like, this is trash. This game is awful. Like whatever. Patrick Stewart like narration isn't gonna help it. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, bring in Giancarlo Esposito.
I mean, I was saying he had good narration, but he didn't design the gameplay, which is trash. So yeah, fuck that game.
Any last
Elden Ring 2 is only, or Elden Ring for Switch 2 has only been said that it's releasing sometime this year. So that's
I'll get it. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that game. Whenever it comes out, I'm gonna get that game.
I just probably not buy it. Just because I did the stuff for the new releases, even though we're the pre-order, the big release is the Nintendo Switch pre-order. But just because just because the titles are hilarious, I just want to go through them really quick. Sure. This week, Jalico Famicom Volume 6 or something, the one that had a Pinball Quest on it. Magic John and Totally Rad. It's about you, John. Magic John. No, Magic John and Totally Rad coming out this week at $7.99. This one is hilarious. So you remember the ones that are like, hey, you like those games, we'll play these games? Well, they're doing a third one now that's coming out this week, like maybe tomorrow. And it's called Listen Up. We tried to make those games even more extreme. Some things have to be learned the hard way. And there's that game, and that's the third version of those same games, which is made by like the same guy who did Katamari Damacy.
The whole soundtrack's done by The World is a Beautiful Place, and I am no longer afraid to die.
Well, the Katamari Damacy guy is apparently working on those games, so I was always kind of intrigued in it in that way. And they're like less than $10. But there's another one. There's a third one now. 100 Line Last Defense Academy is coming out this week too. There's a demo out for it where you can play like the first couple chapters. This is by the people who do Danganronpa, and apparently this is like the last straw. If they don't sell this game, they're done, is what they said. So this is their last hurrah. Like they want people to get it. So I was thinking about getting it just because, but obviously the Switch release. But this is basically their last thing, and it's like apparently it's really good. It's a combination of a strategy and mystery, that sort of game. But apparently everybody who plays it like really loves it. But yeah, this is their last straw. Like if they don't do well on this, they're not making games again. That's what they've said. So it's like it's the last bottle out there though. So if you like those games at all, get it. Super Technos World, River City, and Technos Arcade Classics. I put that on there because you like it, John, for $29.99. It's another like kind of collection, River City Ransom sort of stuff, that sort of thing. And this one, because it's fun to say, Tokimeki Roadmap to Future, Love Live, Nigasaki High School Idol Club for $39.99. And I was trying to figure out if this had anything to do with Tokimeki Memorial, the original like dating sim game that came back way back when. But apparently this is a sequel to that original one.
Okay,
is what I could gather from it. And there's a demo of this. There's a free demo of this one as well. And I might just check it out just because I've heard like people love the Tokimeki Memorial, the original one. So
yeah, the original one's
high
getting
school dating sim thing.
The original one's getting a re-release, but it's only in Japan. It's not translated to English.
Yeah, I think it's already out on the Japanese store. But this one is the sequel to that in English. That's out. That is coming out. But you can play a demo of it and see how weird it is. Whatever. But that's the releases for the week. I mean, if you guys have any extra, if you want to do any quick news stuff, we can, or we can just
let's cut and run. Get ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
spit out that egg and hope it pays off.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything left to do. Best of luck, everybody. I mean, this will be out after everybody's hopefully pre-ordered, we'll figure it out.
Salt in the wounds.
But yeah, best luck to everybody in the pre-ordering, and thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Nintendo Main Podcast, episode 468. And go to youtube.com/Nintendo Main Podcast or patreon.com/Nintendo Main Podcast and send us money so you can get bonus episodes and listen to the episodes ad-free at a higher bit rate and all that stuff, and get your bonus, your expansion pack on there. And you can find us on Blue Sky. I'm Trey Johnson. Jeremy's just Jared Domain, right? Not Jared Domain.
Jared Domain.
Jared Domain. And you can find Nintendo Main Podcast on there also, and youtube.com/Nintendo Main Podcast, twitch.tv/Nintendo Main Podcast. You can find us around, Google us, whatever. Yeah, we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
John Litter.
And best of luck, everybody. See you next week.
See ya.
All right. Hey, it's Trey here. From Nintendo Main. It's almost the time here. Waiting for we're counting down right here. 20 seconds. 20 seconds till midnight. This fucking sucks. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's a fucking crock of shit. Crock of shit.